Very good morning to you all. And for today's lecture series, I'm going to discuss with you all Unit 3 and 4. So, on the important topic which I'm going to discuss for you all is about Unit 3 under the Pearson's correlation coefficient, Spearman's rank correlation, and under Unit 4, I'm going to discuss with you all probabilistic basics concept and then problems of it. We'll start.
Hello, ma'am. Ma'am. Hello.
சொல்லுங்க
Hello.
யாரு?
Correlation and so let me recap what we have done for the previous lecture series, namely correlation and regression. So correlation means it is the strength of the linear relationship between two variables. Regression tells how to draw the straight line by the correlation. And I'm just recapping yesterday what we have done, namely regression means it tells about how to fit a best curve, and regression is a study of the relationship between variables. It is one of the most commonly used tool for business analysis. It is easy to use and applies to many situations. Regression lines is a straight line relationship, and non-linear implies curved relationship, logarithmic relationship. And the types of regressions are strong, positive, negative regression. The curve will be like this, and no relation, it's a straight line. And yesterday we have discussed about these regression formulas, and for today we are going to concentrate in an important topic, namely Pearson correlation coefficient. So let us work out a problem. So the question here is, find the Pearson's correlation coefficient for the given observations. So here we'll start with the problem. Here there are 10 observations, namely the record of 10 students' marks of statistics and marks of science are given here. So the question here is how to find the Pearson coefficient.
மேம் அன்மியூட் எடுத்துடுங்க மேம்.
Okay. Here there are 10 students, marks is studied here, the statistic marks of the 10 students and the science marks of the 10 students. So we are supposed to find the Pearson's correlation coefficient for this observation. See, in order to find that, step 1, we have to find the arithmetic mean of your x and y. So what we are going to do is we are going to assign the statistic as x, and for science we are going to give the variable y. X denotes the statistic degree, y denotes the science degree. That is, the observation of the marks of the first student in statistic is 20, science is 20, and the second student, he has got 23 in statistic, 25 in science, and so on. So step 1, we have to find out the arithmetic mean. So the arithmetic mean is represented by a bar here. Whenever we are writing x bar, y bar, it means that we are finding out the arithmetic mean of this degree x and degree y. So shall we now look back how to find out the arithmetic mean? The arithmetic mean is given by the formula sum of all the given observation divided by the number of observation. So how many observation is given here? That is 10 students observation are given here. So we are making it here. So n equal to 10. Now in order to obtain the summation of x, we need to add these 10 values. I'll say you please, I request you all to use your calculator and keep adding and writing along with me, so that 100% it will be helpful for you for revising yourself for your exam. So 20 plus 23 plus 8 plus 29 plus 14 plus 12 plus 11 plus 20 plus 17 plus 18, etc. Totally you are getting, the summation is 173 divided by 10 is 17.3. Similarly, let us find this y bar, namely the mean of the next case, namely y. So it is 20 plus 25 plus 11 plus 24, 23 plus 16 plus 12 plus 21 plus 22 plus 26. So the summation is found to be 200. We are dividing by n. What is the n? The number of students, the number of observations, 10. So it is 20. So is that step 1 is clear to you all? In order to find the Pearson's correlation coefficient, step 1, you have to find x bar value and y bar value. Step 2, we are going to draw this tabular column. So making the heading is very important. See, while introducing the statistic itself in the unit 1, we saw that the statistical data can be represented in tabular form. So while representing in tabular form, the tabular heading is very important. Once we have written these tabular heading clearly, our computation job will be very easy for us. So in the step 2, shall we start with the step 2? What is our step 1? We have found out the arithmetic mean. So in the step 2, let us copy the given statistic mark, science mark. We are making the sum of it. It is 173. Add up all these values. It is 200. Got it? The next column, we have to find x minus x bar. So what is meaning of x minus x bar? It means that you take this x value and subtract with 17.3. Got it? So 20 minus 17.3 is 2.7. Then 23 minus 17.3, 5.7. Okay, got it? 8 minus 17.3 is minus 9.3. So I request you all to use a calculator or a mobile and keep calculating, so that 100% you will be benefited by learning this problem now itself. Okay, 29 minus 17.3, it is 11.7, and then 14 minus 17.3, it is minus 3.3, 12 minus 17.3 minus 5.3, and so on. After finding out, please make the summation that is found to be 0. The next immediate column with this, you square of each term. What is the meaning of the squaring each term? Means what? You can use a calculator and square this term. Got it? So 2.7 square means 2.7 into 2.7, it is 7.29. Next subheading is y minus y bar. How will you find out y minus y bar? You look into this y column, okay, and subtract with it y bar. So 20 minus 20 is 0. 25 minus 20 is 5. 11 minus 20 is minus 9. 24 minus 20 is what? 4. 23 minus this 20, it is going to be 3. 16 minus 20 minus 4. 12 minus 20 is minus 8. 21 minus 20, it is 1. And the next value will be 2. Next is 6. The net value is found to be 0. Have you got the 0? By adding up this last row represent the summing of these columns. Well, the next tabular value is y minus y bar the whole square. Okay, so you square it and we are getting it. The next column, the last column is what? multiplying this third and the fifth column. So 2.7 into 0. So we have to stick over with the heading of it, namely this product of x minus x bar, y minus y bar. Can you identify it? Please see here. It is 5.7 into 5, 28. Okay, the next value will be what here actually? Minus 9.3 into minus into minus will become plus. So it is 83. So I haven't done that. I repeat it again. What is your step 2? You have to write down the tabular value x, y, x minus x bar the whole square, y minus y bar the whole square, and then product of these two. See, once you have written this subheading clearly, automatically you will compute the values correctly. Now we'll move on to the last step, namely finding out the value. That is calculating the Pearson correlation coefficient. See, the Pearson's correlation coefficient is given by this formula. What is the formula? Summation x minus x bar into y. What is the value of summation x minus x bar? See, let us see here 228. It is sum of these last column. Got it? Summation means what? The last column is summation of x minus x bar, y minus y bar. So please see here, it is 228. And what is this value? It is 356.1. So let us go back and see, it is 356.1. And then y minus y bar the whole square is 252. Please use your calculator and find the square root. Okay? The square root of this is what? 18.8706. And square root of this is what? 15.8745. So the net result we have got it as 0.761. See, while looking into the theory itself, I have mentioned clearly that always this R value will lie between minus 1 and plus 1. So your value is fitting there. So our answer will be correct. Okay. Is it clear? So there are 3 steps involved in finding out the Pearson's correlation coefficient. Namely, step 1, finding out the arithmetic mean. Got it? And step 2, creating this column clearly and writing out the observation, calculating using your calculator correctly. The last step is what? Computing using this formula. Okay, so I request you all to prepare with this well, because if you are ready, then you will be able to answer the part B question and get full marks. Okay. Yet another topic, another important result for today's session is Spearman rank correlation. So the Spearman rank correlation is a non-parametric test that is used to measure the degree of association between two variables. It was developed by Spearman, so that's it is the name behind the Spearman rank correlation. Spearman rank correlation test does not assume any assumption about the distribution of the data and is the appropriate correlation analysis. So what is this Spearman rank correlation? It is the correlation analysis when the variables are measured on a scale that is at least ordinal. So the question now is how to find the Spearman rank correlation for the given observation. So in order to find out the Spearman rank correlation, first thing you have to know observe the formula and notation. So the Spearman rank correlation is represented by this notation, namely rho. So this rho represents Spearman rank correlation coefficient. So the formula is given by 1 minus summation di square n into n square minus 1. Okay. So let us slowly observe what is the summation di square, what is this n, how to compute this di, that is the question. So what is the DI? It is a difference between the rank of corresponding values of the given observations. And n is the number of values in each data set. Okay? And there are two types involved in the rank, Spearman rank correlation, namely to compute the Spearman rank correlation for the given rank, and the next case is for the repeated rank. So while working out the problem, it will be clear for you all what is the meaning of repeated rank. So let us first work out a problem based on finding out the Spearman rank correlation, and then next we'll move on to the repeated rank as a second case. Shall we start with this problem? I suppose you all are comfortable to calculate a Spearman rank order correlation coefficient on a data. Without any ties, use the following data. So an observation is given and you are asked to find the Spearman rank correlation. So 10 students data is given, statistic and science mark. So step 1, you have to fill this column, and let us now rank for the statistic students. So what is the meaning of ranking? Means what? We have to give the maximum person the first rank. Always you all are familiar who will get the first rank? The student who has scored the maximum mark. Yes. So let us rank the statistic student. So for that we have to scan the whole of the observation, and here we look that 29 is the maximum mark. So we give the rank 1. So the first rank will be given for the student who has secured 29. And what is the next mark, maximum mark after this 29? It is 23. So second rank will be allocated for the student who has scored 23. And third rank for the next person, it is 21. Fourth rank for 20. Rank 5 will be allocated for the student who have got 18 mark. Rank 6 will be allocated for the student who have got 17. And for rank 7 will be given for the student who have got 14. The next is what? 8th rank, 9th rank and 10th rank. Got it? Is it clear to you all? So how we are marking the rank? By looking into the maximum marks. So this is the first example we are seeing where the marks are not repeated. Got it? Suppose if two students are getting the same mark, what will happen? We'll see that case later after completing this problem. Okay, we are now sticking with the step 1, namely we have written the statistic marks, the science mark, and we are ranked for the statistics subject. Next we'll rank for the science subject. How will you make the rank? Can you all try with this? So you scan the whole of the science mark, look for the maximum. Which is the maximum mark here? 26. So for the students who have got 26, the rank will be given 1. Got it? What will be the second rank? Look into the next maximum mark, 25. So second rank. After 25, which is the next mark? 24. So it is rank 3. And then 23 will be 4. And 22 will be 5. Okay. 21 will be 6. 20 will be 7. And the 8th rank will be 16. 9th rank will be 12. And 10th rank is 11. Got it? So now you are all able to understand step 1, I suppose partially. We'll finish the step 1 by filling the last two columns, namely finding out this D value and D square. What is this D actually? It is the difference between, if you put the modulus, it means that we have to take the positive value. So 4 minus 7 is what actually? The difference we have to see. This modulus, this symbol represent, we are finding out the difference between these two rankings. So 4 minus 7. What is the difference? It is 3. and there is no difference, we'll put a 0. No difference, we put a 0. There is a difference here 2. 7 and 4 difference is 3. There is no difference, we'll put a 0. There is no difference, we'll put a 0. Here is a difference here 3, we are writing 3. Here is one difference, it is 1, and here is difference 4, we are writing it. Got it? Now we are finding out the square of it, namely 9, 0. Okay, 0, 4, 2 square is 4, 3 square is 9. Again here 3 square 9, 1 square 1, 4 square is 16. So after finding out, we are finding out the sum of all these values, that is your summation di square. So what is the formula for the Spearman? It is 1 minus 6 into summation di square and then by n into n square minus 1. So here we have done the summation di square. Now we will find out the formula. What is the n value? N means number of observation. So how many observations are given here? Totally there are 10. Good. So 10 observations are there. So we are writing 10 into 10 square minus 1. So after, please use a calculator. You can find 6 into 48 divided by 10 into 100 minus 1. Please use a bracket here. After computing this value, the value is found to be 0.2909. Subtract it. The final solution is 0.71. So I hope you all are able to understand how to calculate the Spearman rank where the ranks was not repeated. Got it? Here the rank was not repeated. What is the meaning of rank not repeated? Means what? All the marks are distinct. None of the students have got the same marks. Okay? So next we'll see another example where here the problem was given for you and we calculated the rank. After making the rank, we are able to find the difference d square. Okay. Another example here we see that the ranks are given. So in examination, please read the question carefully. Either the marks are given, observations are given, or the rank are given. Here the ranks are given directly. So X ranking in A and Y represent the ranking in B. Got it? So you copy it as such and we are finding out the difference directly. Why we are finding out this difference D directly? Yes. So D square, nothing harm here. Either it is plus or minus. You have to put, either you can make modulus D or just D, because anyhow we are going to square it, isn't it? So we will square it. The summation value is found to be 214. How we got this 214? By adding 9 plus 1 plus 1 plus 16 plus 36 plus 24 plus 1 plus 81 plus 1 plus 4. The summation value is found to be minus, after computing using a calculator, the value is found to be minus 0.297. Okay. The next is, shall we move on to another example? This is a very important problem. On this particular question, I have taken from the university question paper pattern. Okay. So, 10 competitors in a beauty contest are ranked by 3 judges. So, 3 judges are sitting and they are giving a rank for the 10. Okay. So, the rank, the first person is giving the rank like this, again B and C. So, what we are going to do is, here, since the rank is given, we are going to give the name as D1 for this observation, D2 for this observation, and D3 for this observation. Got it? I repeat it again. The ranks are given here directly. So we can assign this as D1, D2 and D3. Okay. So we are just writing it out, these column value. Okay. How to compute this D1, D2, D3. So what is this D1 is talking about? It is the correlation between X and Y. D2 means what? The correlation this between X and Z, and D3 is Y and Z. So it means that X minus Y means you subtract it. What is actually 6 minus 5? It is 1. And then 5 minus 8, it is minus 3. And then 3 minus 4, it is minus 1. 10 minus 7 it is 3, 2 minus 10 it is minus 8, 4 minus 2 is 2, 9 minus 1 is 8, 7 minus 6 is 1, 8 minus 9 is minus 1, and then 1 minus 3 is minus 2. Got it? So D1 I have the formula is written here, and D2 means what? The relation you just since there are three variable we are assigning x, y, z. First we'll take the combination of x, y, D1. Second we'll take the combination of x and z, and third we'll take the combination of y and z. So three combination we are taking, namely x, y, x, z, and then y, z. Okay. So after finding this D2, what is your D2? Subtracting this x and z. So 6 minus 4 is 2, 5 minus 9, okay, minus 4, 3 minus 8, here it is minus 5, and the next value, so on. After finding out this D1, D2 and D3, how you are getting this D3? Please have a look at this expression, y minus z. So it is 5 minus 4, 8 minus 9 minus 1, 4 minus 8 minus 4, 7 minus 1 it is 6, 10 minus 2 it is 8, 2 minus 3 minus 1, 1 minus 10 it is minus 9, 6 minus 5 it is 1, 9 minus 7 it is 2, and then 3 minus 6 it is minus 3. Got it? So after finding this D1, D2, D3, we are squaring D1 square, D2 square, D3 square. Okay, so D1 what it talks about the ranking, the relation between your the person A, judge A and B, what they are given. Okay, so let us compute by using the Pearman's correlation coefficient formula, namely for the judges x and for the first two person. Okay, we are using this for D1. So the value is found to be 0. How we got this value? Put this summation di square. What is this summation di square? It is 158. So 158 into 6 divided by 10 into, why we are writing 10? Because the number of observation is 10. 10 into 100 minus 199. So this value like this. And what is your summation di square? Look at here. Again it is 158. So same value you are getting. So what is your the third value? It is 214, and what is your observation here? It is 1 minus 6 summation d cube square n into n square minus 1. So this computation value is leading to this expression. So finally, after finding out these combination, so always you try to take this stick over with these three combination, namely x, y, x, z, and then y, z. So you observe that these two has the maximum and they are same. So the judges, it concludes that all judges have the nearest approach to common taste of beauty, and these two has the maximum. So what was the question here actually? Discuss which pair of judges have the nearest approach to common taste of beauty. So these two person, namely the combination, we conclude that all, since the values are nearer, we conclude that all the judges have the nearest approach to common taste of beauty. Okay. So since these values are same, this x, y and x, z combination are same, we are writing out this conclusion. Okay. And lastly, under this rank correlation, I have given one more problem where we'll be looking forward into the repeated ranks. Okay, got it? So what is the meaning of repeated rank? Means what? If two ranks are same. See, shall we proceed? See here, x is given, and then y values are observation is given. So here the question here is, obtain the rank correlation coefficient for the data. So here they have mentioned x is an observation, y is an observation. So we have to first find out the rank, and then secondly we have to find out this d value. Okay, step 1 is what? Finding out the rank, and then step 2 is what? Finding out the, one second. So shall we proceed with this finding out? Okay, shall we start with, see here, the maximum, shall I scan here, the maximum value is 80, so we'll give the rank 2, not 1. Okay, so the first rank for this first data is what? 80 is the maximum value, so we are given the rank. And you slowly observe here, there are the next value, there are 2 cases. So 75, 2 students have got 75 marks. So how will you give the rank? So for the second student, so since there are 2 students, what you have to do is you have to split the rank 2 and 3 and give for the person who have scored 75. Got it? So what is this 2 second rank and third rank, you add up and take the average. So what will be the average of it is 2 plus 3 is 5. 5 divided by 2 will be what? 2.5. Got it? I repeat it again. See here, for while giving the rank, the first rank is allocated for the maximum mark is, that is 1. Since 75 is repeated, see, whenever the ranks are repeated, what we can do? We have to take the following students. So the second rank and third rank has to be taken and have to be shared. So the rank will be given as what? 2 plus 3 divided by 2. The average of it is 2.5, 2.5. So it means that we have given ranking 3. What is the fourth rank? You look for the next value followed by 75. What is the next value to your 75? You slow it each term, and we observe that 68 is sitting here. So, sorry, we are concentrating here. No, good. So the rank 4 will be given. Got it? So you should not give the rank 3. So what rank we have to give here? Got it? All can follow or not? I'll repeat it again. First rank is given for the maximum person. Okay, 1. But 75, 2 person has got 75. So what we have to do? You take the second rank, third rank, you take the average. So it is 5 by 2, it is 2.5. Give it for the both the students. So 75, 75, the weightage will be 2.5, 2.5. Okay. Now followed by, so 3 ranking we have done. The fourth ranking will be given for 68. The next is what? After 68, which is the next largest number, you scan here, it is going to be, okay, after 4, it is 5. Okay. You give the ranking. Yes. See, please see here, it is after 68, what is the number ma? It is 64 here ma and 64 here. So, the rank 5 and 6, okay, has to be splitted, okay. 64, how many 64s are there? Please see here ma, it is 3 64s are there. I hope you all can understand. So, 5, okay. So, we have done the rank here 4, the fifth rank 6 and 7, you take this average 3, so it will be what actually? 18 divided by 3, it is going to be 6. See here, 6, 6, 6. Okay, and the next rank will be given for this 8. Okay, and the 9th rank is allocated for this person, the 10th rank is allocated for this term. Okay. Similarly, doing the same thing for the second observation, namely, the maximum mark student should be given 1, and the next maximum mark 64, the next is 3 and 4 is shared. What is 3 plus 4? It is 7. 7 divided by 2, it is 3.5, okay. And the next rank is given, okay, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. So we have done this ranking. After that, as usual, you find out the difference between these two and we are making it. We are finding out the square of each term and we are making the summation. So what is the formula for this? The formula here is summation d square plus the repeated rank. So 75 was repeated twice. 64 was repeated 3 times, 68 was repeated 2 times. So, whenever the ranks are repeated, you have to make a column representing the correction factor and adding it. So, since it is repeated 2 times, so 2 into 2 square minus 1 by 12, I have given the formula here. You can see in the beginning itself, I said that for the repeated rank, the formula here is, if m is repeated means m into m square minus 1 by 12, you have to add up with it. We call this as the correction factor. Okay, for x, how many terms is repeated you are adding here. For y also we are repeatedly adding here. So Tx is the total of correction factor in x series, total of the correction factor in the y series. So here we have observed that we are writing, since 70y was repeated twice, you have to add up 2 into 2 square minus 1, it is 0.5, and the 64 was repeated thrice, so it is 3 into 9, it is 3 square minus 1 divided by 12, it is 2. So add up these two, what you are getting, 2.5 means it is 5. See, nothing harm in writing 2.5 also, okay. And here what is the correction here, it is 68, it is repeated twice, so it is 0.5 means it is half. So please make this using a calculator. Yes, 6 into 72 plus this correction factor. What is that actually? 5 plus 1, 6 by 2, it will become 3. So you multiply it and the value is given to be 0.545. Okay. And to conclude with this third unit, the important 2-mark question is, give the equation of line of regression. This is a formula. So already I mentioned to you all, y minus y bar r into sigma y, sigma x, x minus x bar. Equations of line of regressions of x on y is this expression, x minus x bar r into sigma x by sigma y, y minus y bar. Okay, and then regression coefficient. So to the third unit, I request you all to concentrate with these two important topics, namely finding out the Spearman's correlation. And in Spearman there are two cases, namely the rank is not repeated, the rank being repeated. And the next result is, the important result was Pearson correlation coefficient. So if you are studying the Spearman's correlation coefficient and Spearman's rank correlation, Pearson's and Spearman, you will be able to get through in this third unit. Okay. So now I suppose we can discuss about probability, which is unit 4 of this business statistic. So probability means what? It gives an idea that is based on the observation. So probability means what? It is uncertainty, may or may not. So let us look into some basics in probability. So some common related terms to probability or an experiment. So what is an experiment means what? It's a situation involving chances or probability that leads to result, outcomes. Okay. Whenever you're doing an experiment, there will be an outcome, that is the possible result of an experiment. So experiment will have an outcome. Okay. And equally likely means all outcomes with equal probability. So you have to remember, probability means what? We are doing some trial. Okay. See, in probability, you have to remember these basics, namely what is a sample space. So whenever, for example, you are tossing a coin, what are the possibility? Either head or tail. So the sample space will be what? 2. That is h and h comma t. And what is the meaning of an even means what? Getting a particular outcome. Say the even means what? One or more outcome in an experiment. See, when you make a trial of what? Tossing a coin, either you will get an head or tail. Sample point means what? Each element of the sample space is called as a sample point. So head is a sample point, tail is a sample point. Okay. So in a die, you know that how many phases, there are 6 phases for each number. So what is the probability of getting a number? That is a question. So the total number of the side is 6. So we'll see the formula for computing. Okay. So how many even numbers will be there in the die? It is, you know that the numbers count is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 4, 6 are even number. So it is 3 even number out of 6 and 3 odd number out of 6. Okay. So in probability, you all have to remember this general rules here, namely, probability is a number between, that is, it always, the value will be lying between 0 and 1. So all these are, I'm giving the highlighting, the theory, then we'll enter into the problem. Okay. The sum of the probabilities of all the possible outcome in a sample space is 1. The probability that an event does not occur is 1 minus the probability that it does occurs. That is, P of A bar is P of 1 minus P of A. So probability of a sure event is 1, probability of an impossible event is 0. Now I'll just warm you all up by giving a one word questions for you all. See, there are 40 candies here. 26 are red, 4 are blue, and then yellow colors 10. So can you just remember it? I'll just look back. Okay. What is the, I have given the answer also here. What is the probability of getting a red? So totally how much is there? Actually 40. Out of this 40, getting red means what? Actually you have got 26 by 40. So 26 by 40, if you simplify, it will be 13 by 20. Okay, I repeat it again. What is the probability of getting a red? Okay, so total number is what? 40. And the probability of getting red is what? 26. So 26 divided by 40, if you simplify, what you will get? It is 2 13s 26 and 2 20 is 40. So if you divide, the value is 0.65. The next question is, what is the probability of getting an yellow candy? How many yellows are there here? There are 10. Okay, so 10 divided by 4 will be what? 10 divided by 40, it is 1 by 4, it is 0.25. What is the probability of getting blue candy? How many blues are there? 4. So 4 divided by 40 will be 1 by 10, it is 0.1. Okay, so now I have given a problem. We are just warmed up, but we'll see what is the exact definition. Probability of getting an event is given by number of favorable outcome case by the total number of outcomes. Okay. See, for example here, see what was the total? It was 40 and the probability of getting the event is 26. So 26 by 40 was found to be 13 by 20. Okay. So this is the basic, the formula here, namely, probability of getting an event is given by number of favorable outcomes divided by total number of outcomes. Okay. In probability note, we have additional theorem, Bayes theorem, multiplication theorem. Under this multiplication theorem, we have dependent variables, independent variables, and under the additional theorem, we are having mutually exclusive and partially over. But your course, we are going to concentrate in the Bayes theory. And this is your syllabus part, your Bayes theory. What is the meaning of dependent, independent variable, and then basic problems related to that. Okay. So the important, shall I proceed? Okay. So the first definition we have seen, the probability is what? Probability of getting an event is what? Number of favorable outcomes divided by number of total outcomes. Okay. So the next important definition is independent event. So what is the meaning of independent? I'll explain. Before that, we'll see the formal definition. If there are two events, then the probability of A or and B is given by what? Actually, it is A intersection B is P of A into P of B. If two coins are flipped, the chance of both being head is what? The first coin, what is the probability of getting head is 1 by 2. And in the second coin, what is the probability of getting it should be and, here it is not, or A and D. Okay, it is and. So whenever see, always one thing you have to remember in this probability is that regarding the operation. So what is the meaning of an operation? Means what in mathematics? You all know about addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. But here in our probability, see, whenever we are using the word or, we have to use the operation addition. Whenever the word and is used, we are going to use the operation what? Multiplication. Okay. So P of A and it should be A and B is what? P of A intersection B is given by P of A into P of B. Okay. And mutually exclusive event means what? Either event A or event B occurs on a single performance of an experiment. This is called the union of the event A and B, denoted as P of A union B. If two events are mutually exclusive, then P of A or B is what? P of A union B. It is P of A plus B. So it is independent. Sorry, please, you just ignore this. It should be what? And. Okay. P of A and B is what? P of A intersection B. Got it? Or means what? It is union. Okay. Union means what I said. Or means you have to use the operation addition. And means you have to use the operation multiplication. Okay. So the conditional probability. So first I have introduced recapped what is the probability of event is given by what? The favorable cases divided by the all cases, the total exhaustive cases. The next is was the independent event. Okay. So that is P of A intersection B is what? P of A into P of B. And okay, independent event. The next thing which I have discussed with you all is mutually exclusive means what? P of A or B, that is P of A union B means what? P of A plus P of B. The next another result with that, this result I will be moving into some problems. So conditional probability. So two events A and B are said to be dependent when B can occur only when A is known to have. The probability attached to such that event is called conditional probability. So let me explain to you all what is the meaning of a conditional probability. See, this is a notation. P of B by A means what? We are talking about that probability of getting the event B where A has already happened. I repeat it again. How do you view this notation? How will you read it? P of B by A means what? Probability of getting this event B where A has already happened. So it is given by P of A, B divided by A. Okay. While working out the problem, it will be clear. Let us look into some problems. Okay. So we'll see one example here. A bag contains 5 white balls and 3 black balls. 2 balls are drawn at a random, one after the other without replacement. Find the probability that both the balls drawn are black. So what is the question? Let us scan this problem. So a bag is containing 5 white balls and 3 black balls. So how many balls are there actually totally? 5 plus 3, 8. So what will be the exhaustive cases? It is 8. That is the total item is what? 8. The 2 balls are drawn at a random, one after the other without replacement. Find the probability that both the balls drawn are black. So how many balls are here? Black? 3. So 3 by 8. Okay. P of A means what? Probability of getting the black ball is what actually? It is 3 by 8. So why it is 3 by 8? Because how many black balls are there? 3 and total is 8. Therefore, the probability of drawing the second black ball will be what actually? Can you just say? See, totally it was 8. So what is the question here? You have to read the question very carefully. 2 balls are drawn at random, one after the other without replacement. So already we have picked one ball. So how many balls will be there actually? Totally it was 8. So 1 we have removed. So 8 minus 1 will become 7. Okay, 7. And how many black balls are there? Already we have taken 1 out of it. So out of this 3 we have removed 1, means the remaining will be what actually? 2. So 2 by 7. Okay. The probability that both the balls drawn are black is given by what I said. Whenever and is there, we are going to use the operation what? Multiplication. So 3 by 8 into 2 by 7, it is 3 by 28. Okay. So what are the applications of probability in communication networks, stochastic modeling in the business field, okay, in operation research, genetics and other stochastic modeling in biology, application of probability in analysis. Okay. Now, see, I have just warmed up what is probability, what are the tips, but we'll now go into the exact definition for you all to answer the part A questions. So sample space means what? The possible outcome of an experiment. Experiment means what? Tossing a coin. Yes, even means what? Getting a possible outcome of the experiment. And there are three important axioms in a probability, namely probability of all the event will always be, each event always be greater than or equal to 0. The probability of the sample space will be equal to is 1. Okay, and mutually exclusive events means what? Two events are said to be mutually, when it is said to be mutually exclusive, if the occurrences of one excludes the other. Okay, in throwing of dice, getting a head or tail is mutually exclusive. So you can understand, whenever we are throwing a die, okay, equally likely means what? Coin actually, I'm sorry, throwing a coin, what will be our outcome? Either a head or tail. So the occurrence of this head and tail in throwing a coin, it is actually not die, we are throwing a coin. Okay, and equally likely events means what? We say that two events are equally likely if one of them cannot be expected in preference of the other. Example, in throwing an unbiased die, all the 6 spaces are equally likely. Got it? Here it should be coin. So either it will be head or tail. Since the occurrence of one does not exclude, if the occurrence of one excludes the others, we call it as mutually exclusive. Independent event. The actually happening of one does not influencing the happening of others. Okay, independent means what? The happening of one chance will not influence the happening of others. So here is an example. In tossing a coin, the event of getting a head in the first toss is independent of getting a head in the second toss, and so on. So I am just recapping the important formula here, namely number of favorable outcomes by number of exhaustive events. Okay, and this is an important question. Is give the axiom of probability. So you have to write these 3 points, namely 0 less than equal to P of A is less than equal to 1. For your exam point of view, I am giving you all the tips for you how to present if the question is give the axiom of probability. So 0 less than equal to P of A less than equal to 1, P of S equal to 1. And the next case is what? Actually, if A1, A2 are mutually exclusive, then P of A union A, A1 union A2, so on, A will be P of A1 plus P of A2, so on, plus P of A. So you have to write these 3 results, namely 1, 2, and then the last result, namely this 4. Okay, and some important result alone you need for your 2 marks. The probability of an impossible event is 0. Okay, and P of A bar is complement of the event, that is P of A bar is 1 minus P of A is less than equal to 1. These 2 result alone is enough for you all, not the proof. And the important another 2 mark question in this unit is define conditional probability. So it is P of A by B is what? P of A intersection B divided by P of A. So I'll concentrate in 2 more problems for today's session. A jar contains 3 red marbles and 7 green marbles and 10 white marbles. So if so how many the jar is totally containing? 3 plus 7 plus 10, so it is 20. So the number of items in the jar is what? 20 items. Okay, so what is the sample space? N of S. So N of S means what is that? If you write N of S, it means that what we are talking about the sample space. So sample space means what? The all possible outcome, the total cases will be the sample space. Okay, N of S equal to 20. Let us read the question. If a marble is drawn from the jar at random, so what we are doing, we are just putting our hand, we are picking one marble. What is the probability that this marble is white? So we have to write down the possibility of getting white. How many white are there? There are 10. So what is the formula? Number of possibility of getting that event, our favorable event by the exhaust. What is our favorable event here? Getting white marble. How many white are there? 10. So 10 by 20, it is going to be 1 by 2. Got it? So I have just, we have discussed one problem where we are finding out the probability of getting the event. E means what? Getting the even. What is that? Getting the even means what? Getting white. How many whites are there? 10. So 10 divided by how many cases are there? The sample space is 20. So 10 by 20 is 1 by 2. Another example, 2 dice are rolled. Find the probability that the sum is equal to 5. So when you all know that how many faces are there in the die 6, we'll write out all the cases, the combination. So if we are throwing 2 dice, in the first die if 1 is there, second die is also 1. So the combination is 1 comma 1. The next possibility in die 1 it is 1, die 2 is 2. So we are writing out all the cases. So how many cases will be there? Totally there will be 36 cases. All the permutation combination we are writing it. So how many sample space will be what? It is 36. Okay. And let E be the event of getting what is asked in the question. The probability of getting the sum is equal to 5. So what is the meaning in saying the sum is equal to 5? The die 1 is appearing, die 2 1 is appearing. You add a 1 and 1, it is not 5. So you look into peep into each cases and look for the sum equal to 5. So 4 plus 1 will be 5, and then next combination 2 plus 3 will be 5, and then 3 plus 2 will be 5, 3 cases, and 4 plus 1 will be 5. Is there any other combination with the sum 5? Please check it out. I repeat again, please here. We look into each combination. Got it? 1 plus 4 is 5. So 1 event we are got. 2 plus 3 is 5. Here if you scan here this combination, 3 plus 2 is 5 and 4 plus 1 is 5. So there are only 4 possibility that the sum will be equal to 5. So what is our favorable case will be what? 4. The total case is exhaustive case is what? 36. The total outcome, that is the sample space is 36 means what? 4 by 36, it is 1 by 9. Okay, so before moving to the next problem, I'll just look into make you all to revise this formula. NCR means n factorial divided by n minus r factorial. What is NCR means what? It is the combination. Under the permutation combination you have studied. Permutation means what? Arranging things. Combination means what? Selecting. Combination means what? Given n things, we are selecting r out of it. So NCR, how will you view it? Given n items, we are selecting what? R. R can be what actually? In 10 items, how many items you can select? Either 10, less than 10. You can't select 20 out of 10. So always this R will be lesser than equal to n. Okay. And what is the formula of this? It is n factorial divided by n minus r factorial into r factorial. So how we will calculate it? I'll give an example. 7 factorial is what actually? 7c4 is what? 7 factorial divided by what is 7 minus 4? It is 3 factorial into 4 factorial. Okay. 7 factorial means what? 7 into 6 into 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. And 7 minus 4 means what? It is 3 means what? 3 into 2 into 1. 4 factorial means what? 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. See, you may ask what is a factorial. So factorial means what? It is a product of n natural numbers. So n factorial means what? We are taking the product of 1, 2, 3 up till n. Got it? So 3 factorial is what? 3 into 2 into 1. 6 factorial is what? 6 into 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. Okay. So this notation we are going to stick over for the following problem, and this category is very very important. I repeat it again. NCR means what? It is selecting, that is taking r things out of n. The formula is given by n factorial divided by n minus r factorial into r factorial. So example here I will 7 factorial means what? You take the product of 7 numbers, 1 into 2 into 3, 4, 5, 6. Here n minus r means 7 minus 4, it will be 3. 3 factorial is what? 3 into 2 into 1. 4 factorial is what? 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. Okay. So we'll see one problem here, namely A committee of 5 people is to be formed randomly from a group of 10 women and 6 men. Find the probability that committee has 3 women and 2 men, 4 women and 1 man, 5 women, at least 3 women. So this problem is very, very important. I'll read out the question here. So a committee of 5 people is to be formed randomly from 10 women and 6 men. So totally how many people are there? 10 plus 6 will be 16. And the question here is what? We have to select a committee of 5 people out of the 16. Okay. So taking 5 out of 6. So already I said what is this notation represent? 16C5 means what? Selecting 5 out of 16. So out of the 16 people we have to select the 5 people. Okay. And we'll see the case 1. What is the case 1? We have to select 3 women and 2 men. So how many, let me explain the denominator. What is the denominator here actually? It is the total, that is exhaustive case. Okay. So it is 16 here ma. It is 16 not 6 here. I don't know whether you are able to identify ma. 16C5. So the denominator will be what actually? The total, that is 16C5 will be your denominator. Why we have to write 16C5 here? It is the exhaustive, the total, that is the sample space. Okay. Out of 16 we are selecting 5. And we'll see the numerator. The first problem is what? Selecting 3 women and 2 men means what? Out of 10 we are selecting 2. Out of 10 women we are selecting 2. Yes. Okay. And out of, so it is 6C2. 2 men we are selecting, so 6C2. And 3 women we are selecting, it is 10C3. Got it? So use this formula, namely this NCR, or you can even use a calculator to get this value. Got it? And the next B women and 1 man. Can you all try with this? 4 women means what? How many women are there? 10. Out of 10 we are taking 4. So 10C4. Out of this 6 we are selecting 1 man. So it is 6C1. Now you can understand why I was discussing with this is NCR. NCR means what? Selecting R things out of N. So we have to select 4 women out of 10. And here 5 women. How will you select 5 women? Okay, so totally there are 10 here. So we have to take 10C5 and men we are not selecting, it is 6Z0. 6C0 value will be 1. Okay, and we are computing it. At least 3 women means what? At least 3 women. It can be either 3 or 4 women or 5 women. Okay, see, we'll discuss this in the next class. So for today's class, we have concentrated in these 3 results, namely, what are the 3 results we have discussed for today's class? Correlation, Pearson's correlation coefficients, Spearman's, and